So, this is the next chapter, deep down in the sea. Children, it's very easy to understand what is there. You can see, in front of you, in between which you are living day in and day out. That is the land part. But very difficult to understand something which you really cannot see, like maybe something which is in the deep blue skies, okay, or let's say which is in the atmosphere above you. But there is something which is in the waters, and especially in the deep waters, that is the sea or the ocean, where it's very difficult for everyone to go in and see. It could be because you don't have the opportunity, or it could be because you have water phobia, you don't really want to go inside the water, into the deep waters. Yeah, there are times when we can see something which is like, let's say, in the running waters, in the rivers or the lakes, or shallow waters like the ponds, etc. But deep inside, it's very different. It's a whole new world. So let me take you on this tour to this very, very different world of the deep waters of the sea and the oceans. Isn't that so much fascinating? Something that I know I love to watch that. And I'm sure you're also going to love to watch it. Oh my God, what do we have here? Doesn't this fish somewhat look like, the mouth looks like a nose of a human with a weird, sulking looking face. But you know what? They are Psychoreuletes marcedis, or to say so, the blobfish. The smooth head blobfish, okay, is a deep sea fish of the family Psychoreulidae. It inhabits the deep waters of the coasts of mainland Australia and Tasmania, as well as the waters of New Zealand, of course. They are typically shorter than 30 centimeters. Now, this is a giant isopod. It is any of the almost 20 species of large isopods, crustaceans, distantly related to shrimp and crabs, which are decapods in the genus Bathomyiosis. They are abundant in the cold, deep waters of the Atlantic, Pacific, and Indian Oceans. Now, I too got a little confused when I saw it. For a moment, I thought maybe this is like a crab, and then I thought, no, maybe this is, like a shrimp, or what we call as prawns. But then, when I saw the face, I had to say, no, it is not. So you take a closer look at the face, you will get to know this is not a crab and this is not a prawn. Of course, this is not a lobster as well. Now, take a closer look at this fish. This is a stargazer. Okay? Now, the stargazers are a family, Uranoscopadia, of Perciform fish that have eyes on top of their heads. And probably that is why they are called as stargazers, also because of what I think you see on their body. Those little dots all over. The family includes about 51 species in 8 genera, all marine and found worldwide in shallow and deep salt waters. Now, after looking at this, I'm sure you're not going to want to watch a stargazer. Probably you wouldn't want to gaze at it, would you? They look so terrifying. Now, they do look cute, isn't it? They're called as chimarias. They are cartilaginous fish in the order of chimeriforms, known informally as ghost shark. Obviously, take a look at it. It looks so grayish and silverish in color. What are you going to think about it? It is also called as the ratfish, spookfish, or rabbitfish. But you see, these last three names cannot be confused with rat tails. Okay? Their mass is about 2.9 kgs. Now, these are amphipods. They are usually larger than copepods and have different benefits than other live fish food. Copepods, for example, are great for seeding new tanks while providing a continuous supply of fresh live fish for its inhabitants. Now, feeding copepods to fish allows you to take advantage of these benefits easily. Now, amphipods, they are an order of Malacostracean or crustacean with no carapace and generally with literally compressed bodies. Now, amphipods, they range in size from 1 to 340 millimeters and are mostly detritivores or scavengers. There are more than 9,900 amphipod species so far. Now, children, like I said, they are marine and freshwater forms. Okay. While some species are terrestrial, they still require moist habitats. Okay, these species are sometimes referred to as lawn shrimps. Due to their similarity to true shrimps. Now, children, understand when I say this, I mean that most of them, you might say that okay, they are supposed to be shrimps or like I say prawns, okay, but they are not really prawns or they are not really lobsters, okay. When we talk of some of the fishes of the same look, but when I say lawn shrimps, they are a little different, okay, because they are not true shrimps. If you look at the head, it is not the same. Alright, so it's a little different. Okay, that is why in the beginning I said that you can feed them to other fishes and take the benefits because you really cannot be eating them yourself. Okay, now this is snaggletooths or stare-eaters. They are any of a number of small deep sea stomate fish in the genus Astronesthus. They possess a bioluminescent red chin barbel than the fish use they use to lure or to attract small prey into striking distances. The fish have delicate skin and mouths filled with sharp needle-like curved teeth. Oh my God, doesn't this look as if there's a fish moving around on a ball? Yeah, but that's not true. It's not moving around on a ball. It is the black swallow or the Chesmodon niger. It is a species of deep sea fish in the family Chesmodonatidae. It is known for its ability to swallow fishes which are larger than itself, okay, twice the size of its own self. It is a worldwide distribution in tropical and subtropical waters. Okay, in the mesopelagic and bathypelagic zones at a depth of around 700 to 2745 meters. Now, when you look at its mouth, I'm sure you can believe the fact when I say that it is able to swallow something or eat something which is almost twice the size of its own self. I'm sure you can actually make a look at it. Just take a look at it and see it for yourself. Now, the gulper eel, it is also referred to as the pelican eel, okay, which can also refer to members of the related genus Sacopharynx, pelican gulper, and umbrella mouth gulper. Okay, the specific epithet peliconidis refers to the pelican, as the fish's large mouth is reminiscent of that of the pelican. Now, this deep sea eel is rarely seen by humans, though it is occasionally caught in fishing nets. It is the only known member of the genus Eupharynx and the family. Now, children, there is something that you'll see on its tail. This is what makes it different from many other eels. Okay, it is a tiny light producing organ called as photophore at the tip of its tail. Okay, with this we come to yet another chapter, deep down in the sea. I'm sure it must be mesmerizing for you all, and most of you must be thinking, I wish I could go down and see. Well, if you ever get the opportunity, don't really hesitate to do so. It's a beautiful world down there.